This is Thriving Thoughts, the podcast that teaches you how to change your thoughts so you can change your life. I'm Dr. Sherri, clinical psychologist turned thoughtologist and truth teller. Welcome to Season 7, where you'll learn to be gentle and deliberate with your words so that together we learn what it really means for women to encourage, uplift, and empower one another. Twice per week in 5-minute episodes, we'll dissect popular phrases women say to one another, expose the lies hiding beneath their surface that perpetuate problematic ideals, and learn how to speak true encouragement so we uplift ourselves and others. Are you ready to speak truth over the lies and be an empowered woman who empowers other women? Start with this truth. A woman who changes her world changes the world. Let's go. It wasn't long after I had made the heart decision to stop practicing as a clinical psychologist that I pursued speaking about my message of autonomy and self-authority over one's mental health to the masses. I was headed to one such free speaking engagement and began to hear the voice of self-doubt accuse me as an imposter, asking, who do you think you are to talk about this? What happens if people ridicule you for your point of view on this alternative approach? As I said, this was early on in my Thriving Thoughts journey, and I had yet to become fluent in responding to the lies that swarmed my mind, at least on my own. I found myself in need of a friend, so I rang one from my cell and found that although I knew she loved me dearly, she dismissed my fears rather than acknowledging them and kept repeating, "You'll be fine, you're great, you have nothing to worry about." You may have had a similar pep talk from a friend. It's not bad. It's not good either. It's not something we're taught, though, how to encourage one another with depth, direction, and accountability. My friend wasn't intentionally dismissive. She just didn't have the words of encouragement that would grow me in that moment of self-doubt. I hope you'll find those words here, and not just in today's episode. I started this podcast to talk about the thoughts and feelings we are acutely aware of, yet largely uncomfortable with, to help us lean into the discomfort of truth so we can thrive because of the discomfort. When you refuse to tell your friend she'll be fine, she's got this, or she's great, in response to her fears, you give her the opportunity to confront them. We need one another to grow. When we placate one another with affirmations lacking substance, like, you've got this, you're amazing, or you're great, the discomfort isn't acknowledged, and then there can be no growth. Only a stuffing down of emotion, a stifling of problem solving, and perpetuation of encouragement as superficial over transformative. What is there then to say instead? I promise I'm going to tell you in 15 seconds, but first, will you please press pause and go to Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn and follow at Thriving Thoughts Global. That's my new nonprofit that's changing the way we think about mental health. We're providing an alternative, preventative approach to mental well-being. And if you agree that we need prevention that empowers women over their mental, emotional, and relationship health, your follow will help other women to discover us. Again, go to Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn right now and follow at Thriving Thoughts Global. Thanks for the permission to divert for a moment, friends. Now back to what to say instead of "you'll be fine" or "you've got this." Instead of saying anything, ask questions. Instead of allowing her to talk about what she doubts in herself, ask her, what do you believe about yourself? Not do you believe in yourself, but what do you believe about in yourself? Your question will prime her to redirect her thinking to the truth of who she is, not who she's not. You can chime in with examples of who you know her to be. Use specific adjectives when you do, like resilient, humorous, analytical, strategic, etc. Not generic words like great or awesome. Ask her, what's the worst that can happen? Ask her to face her fears rather than dismissing them or leaving them unanswered. And follow that up with, okay, suppose that does happen. How would that build your character, grow you, or teach you? Maybe she's simply having a one-on-one conversation, speaking to a crowd, going to a job interview, or going on a date. Whatever she's facing, your job, if you want to be an encourager, is to allow her to come face to face with the truth of herself in that moment, not to placate her with empty, generic compliments that will have no lasting footprint on her personal development. You might say this sounds a little too much like therapist or coachy talk. That's just the conditioning of our society to believe we're not supposed to talk like that. When you signed up to be a friend, however, that means you signed up to hold your friend accountable, to love them the way they are and refuse to leave them that way. A side effect of this practice is, of course, that you will start to ask yourself these questions. I believe together we can grow a world of women who celebrate and honor the power they have over their mental health. We need each other. A woman who changes her world, changes her friend's world, and has the power to change the world. Remember to follow at Thriving Thoughts Global, and as always, speak truth over lies, and you will thrive.